Okay, everyone, welcome to the Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce plug-in hybrid. We're going to take a interesting test drive of this unique plug-in hybrid vehicle, but first, we're going to go take a quick tour of the exterior. If you guys haven't checked out my full tour review, let's just make sure the lights are on for you guys. Let's go check this out real quick. A lot of beeps on this thing. So we have it here in the Veloce trim, and we have it here in this Alfa Romeo red paint. I think it looks quite nice as it is. I love these wheels. I love the Trilobo style headlights with this kind of three LED beams on each side. Really nice. Alfa Romeo signatures grille up here as well. Very well integrated into this vehicle. I think it looks pretty cool, peppy outside, unique looking Alfa Romeo. And of course, the Dodge Hornet is the same vehicle. Can get it this as well as a plug-in hybrid. Though I think that Tonale looks the part as the vehicle itself was designed as an Alfa Romeo from the start. Dodge just kind of took that and badge engineered it afterwards. Really nice design out back here as well. Check that out. Black cladding and this painted finish, not matte black plastic like the Hornet. I think it looks really good looking actually. Again, that Trilobo style design in the back with the Tonale badge. Really nice looking vehicle. We also have a little Italian flag right here on the side mirror. Nice little touch. But let's go take this thing for a drive because I think that's what we all want to do here. Check out this unique powertrain. Okay guys, let's head off. We are in advanced efficiency mode now, which is technically our EV mode, though if we do go hard enough on the gas pedal, it will kick on the engine. We have auto brake hold on, and let's set off. You can hear a subtle EV whir in the background. Electric motor is very quiet in here. Cruising around the parking lot as well. This gives us a quick chance to kind of play with these drive modes. And we do have, of course, regenerative braking in the Tonale plug-in hybrid. Now, when it is in EV mode, we are actually in rear-wheel drive because this is a rear-mounted electric motor. There is no real physical connection between this front engine and the rear electric motor. So in EV mode, you have a rear-wheel drive vehicle. Though how this system is set up, how the traction system is set up, is that if there's any kind of slip on either ends, one of the powertrains will kick on, and so they're always together, so you have that traction. So you can't really kind of turn everything off and get some fun out of this thing, sliding it around with the rear end, though. If you're pushing it hard in dynamic mode, you can, just a little bit, but it is prioritizing traction over, I guess, pure fun. And that's just how that's going to have to work with this e-axle all-wheel drive system. And that's an issue with all the vehicles that kind of use that. If you want full traction all the time, both or one of these powertrains are going to have to be on. So we're still in pure EV mode. A lot of regen here, and I can flip this dial right here quickly, and I can turn it straight into the natural mode. So now we're in natural mode. I can also change my clusters really easily here. I have a map display, a few other nice displays to kind of play around with. Now, one really interesting thing that I have noticed is that since you're in EV mode, and when you're in rear-wheel drive in EV mode and the engine's not on, the steering is really light because you don't really have power going to it. So it's not really any kind of like vectoring of that torque being going around. You feel the power in the steering wheel. So the steering is very light, and you can feel the rear end moving around a little bit. Not sliding though, but you can feel it kind of turning around corners in that sense. So now we're in natural mode here. Hear the engine kick on. And it has an interesting sound. This is a tiny engine. It's a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder engine. So the tiny little engine, though combined 285 horsepower, is a pretty potent just general number here. And it makes a good enough sound, I think, in dynamic mode from the outside. Sometimes it can be a little bit loud and drony when it's kind of charging the battery. So we have our e-save mode here where we can charge the battery up. And even in dynamic mode when it's just idling, and sometimes it's idling a little high, it kind of figures itself out. And it'll have a little bit of a louder sound, but you kind of are going to have to get used to that. Most plug-in hybrids all pretty much operate in the same fashion in that way. So that's one thing to note. decent shifts from that 6-speed automatic gearbox. And you know, it's raining out today. We have really no issues with traction either, which is great. So that's really a good confidence in that powertrain operating together. And I actually really like this gauge here in the center. This is one of the options here in our cluster. And what it's doing is it's actually showing us what's going on with this powertrain. So it'll show us when our gas engine's on, as well as the EV powertrain, and which one is kind of propelling the vehicle forwards at which time and which one's being charged. So I like that little indicator of what's going on there. So I honestly do think Alfa Romeo had a really well thought out process here when kind of designing the EV side, or I guess like the electrification side of this powertrain. There's a lot of great information in here from our eSave charging status, which we can kind of customize in this eSave mode. We can put it in save or charge mode, as well as adjust our different target levels for the battery pack. Power flow meter, it's a nice looking gauge as well. We can see what's going on there. So there's a lot of fun gauges and things to play around with. And I really like the Alfa Romeo little electric logo there, which is really cool. And it actually changes based on different conditions. So we're at stop now, so it's white, and we're moving in the electric mode, it's green. And when we have the gas engine on, it kind of changes a different color as well. So there's a nice, cool little things going on here with that, which I really like as well. The great thing with these plug-in hybrids is that when you're kind of going downhill like this, you're just gaining battery charge. So you're charging up the battery with the regenerative braking. And again, we're in that rear-wheel drive mode now, very light front steering. And when that engine kicks on and the engine is powering those front wheels, you definitely notice a change in that. And I'm pretty sure this uses the same steering rack and ratio as the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Stelvio. They kind of just ripped it out of that rear-wheel drive place architecture and put it into the Tonale, which is unique, as well as the Hornet, though it feels a little bit more stiffer in the Hornet, just because the Hornet that I drove was the gas version, so obviously we're having power going to all four wheels at all time. A little bit more stiffer with that power going to the front wheels, felt a little more front wheel drive biased. This has that blend of having that rear wheel drive bias as well as front wheel drive and all wheel drive kind of bias at all times, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna pop it into dynamic mode here for you guys. Blind spot monitoring. We can use the paddle shifters. We're in third gear now. It's a little slippy out though. I don't want to push it too hard. Pretty good grip. You know, it's not a performance vehicle, but it can handle its weight. And in dynamic mode, it definitely drives a bit more aggressively. With that stiffer suspensions now on. And the paddle shifters do work when you want to have fun with the car, which is nice. Now we're up to highway speeds here. A little bit loud on the highway. I believe this does have acoustically laminated glass, so it's still a little bit louder in here. Now, Alfa Romeo, when kind of developing this version of the platform for the Tonale, and I guess the Hornet as well, there's a lot of sound insulating material throughout the body. Now, I will say the Hornet did feel a little bit quieter actually to me, and that was a pre-production vehicle. This is a technically pre-production vehicle. I know the actual ones are on sale though in the media fleet. They're still pre-production vehicles. It's a little bit louder, of course, today with the rain, so you can kind of get a little bit of a feel for that. You can see wipers, automatic wipers are working fantastically. And we're now cruising here on the highway in dynamic mode. One thing to note that I have been having an issue with this whole week, and you can kind of see it now on the dash, are the front cameras up there for your auto emergency braking, kind of lane keep assist, and all of those kind of systems always gets fogged and just covered and stuff, and I get these little warning indicators saying the cameras are blocked. So that's a little bit annoying. I've tried multiple things to do it, even trying to like clean it up myself, and it just doesn't want to work sometimes, which is a little bit disappointing. I don't know if it's the wipers aren't too big enough, or if it's getting fogged up or something, or again, this is a pre-production vehicle. It could just be a bug, but that is something to note there. Now we are still in dynamic mode, so you can see that the engine is being prioritized here with the boost of that electric motor. Really cool stuff here. You can kind of get like almost instant boost in that rear axle to kind of boost you off the line there, which is really nice. And it feels peppy enough, and the blending and the smoothness of the powertrain, I wouldn't say it's the most refined thing on the planet. I really haven't had any like indications of like jittering or juddering, though there are some like weird times where the engine will kick on at really high RPM, for really no explanation. So there's been some little weird kinks there. Generally been pretty smooth though, with the blend between electric and the gas powertrains. Again, the brake pedal itself, really decent feel. There's nothing too weird there either. So if that's something you're gonna, sometimes a plug-in hybrid vehicle or EVs have a little bit of a weird blended kind of braking pedal that doesn't really have a nice calibration to it. This feels pretty good to it. And it looks like our cameras have cleared up, thankfully, so I want to test out this highway driving assistance system with you guys. Pretty easy to use, and it's a really good system actually. So on the left hand side of our steering wheel, we can pop on our modes. So active driving assist is ready. We can set our speeds. We also set our following distance. We have lane keep assist with the steering control, which is a very nice touch as well. And you actually have a dedicated gauge here in this center console to kind of view your active driving systems a little bit better here. You can see like that, and change our following distance like this. And now we have our steering assist turned on as well. And once the steering assist turns on, you can see it all will turn green here for you, which is pretty cool. So it knows that the system, you know that the system is activated. Now driving in natural mode here, you can see that our battery is being used over the engine. And we have 0 miles of range here, so the engine's probably going to kick on soon and will kind of act like a hybrid mode instead, which is pretty cool. Here we go, the engine just kicked on here. And now it's going to be charging the battery and powering the wheels. It's going to decide what mode it is. Now, these cameras have just gotten a little clogged again, you can see, and it turned off our active driving assist. No warning actually, it kind of just did it. It's a little bit dangerous, I think. If you have that mode on, I think there should be a little bit of a warning if it's going to disengage, other than just on the dash. An audible warning would be nice. And why those cameras are getting clogged, I don't know. So how has the Tonale been with living this week? And honestly, I haven't had any issues myself. I know some people are a little bit worried about reliability going forward. Yes, these are a new vehicle, it's Alfa Romeo. They may have a history of some questionable reliability on their vehicles, though I haven't had issues with these so far. It's a really unique vehicle, if I'm going to be completely honest. There really isn't a true, I would say, direct competitor to this in this class. It kind of operates in this kind of premium luxury segment, though if you really want to directly compare it to something, I guess you can compare it to a RAV4 Prime or a Lexus NX plug-in hybrid. Those are a little bit bigger vehicles though. And around this price point, you're looking around like $42,000 to $52,000 range. Again, there isn't really many vehicles that are kind of like directly compete with this Alfa Romeo Tonale. And it's a unique offering. You get a decent amount of electric range, around 32 miles. You get a pretty decent handling experience. I think it looks very good. It definitely stands out amongst the crowd of vehicles, especially if you get it in a nice color. And I believe if you do lease these as of the time of this filming, you could get a $7,500 tax credit applied to the vehicle as well, which is a nice just little discount there. I think that makes this thing a little bit more attractive of a purchase. And it's definitely been fun learning this plug-in hybrid powertrain, learning the different drive modes, playing with the paddle shifters and how that kind of interacts with the electric powertrain as well as the gas powertrain. It's really been a unique experience, I think. Yes, there's some little gremlins and quirks here and there that you're gonna have to get over with if you're going for this vehicle, but it's unique, and it's kind of previewing the future of Alfa Romeo as well as the industry going electrified, and how they're going to end up doing it going forward. It's going to be pure EV. This is a unique, I guess, exception that they're doing this plug-in hybrid here to kind of blend everyone into that new era. And I don't know, the feel just isn't there on this kind of front-wheel drive based architecture. I know the upcoming electric Giulia and Stelvio are going to be on this rear-wheel drive, I guess you want to call it, biased EV platform. Hopefully, maybe they'll try to squeeze in a gas engine in there somehow. Keep that gorgeous twin turbo V6 hanging on for longer, but this is what we have for now. Anyways, guys, this has been my week with the Alfa Romeo Tonale. I was able to charge it on a public charger actually using level 2, not DC fast charging. It's not capable with that, and no issues whatsoever. Just more issues with the charging networks as usual versus the vehicles. And yeah, guys, it's definitely something to go check out if you're interested in it. If you like the Hornet more as well, pretty much identical vehicles, same powertrains, same kind of general feel, though just different looks. So you have really two options here in the US market, Tonale or Hornet on this platform, and both are pretty unique offerings. I think there's a lot of deals going on right now. Not a lot of people know what they are. Not a lot of people are, I think, interested in them as of yet. They just launched on the market still. And yeah, guys, thanks for joining me again on this drive of a new vehicle. Stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews as always, and cheers.